By the way, the world and will as will and idea is now usually translated as will and representation. But I actually think even that's flawed. There's a difference between an idea and a representation. Because a real idea is that which cannot be represented symbolically. But the words can only point to that, but they cannot actually represent the real. So even our ability to understand the nuances of what even someone in 1818, which is when that book was published, was writing, are already no longer accurately transmitted. So Schopenhauer, I think, was completely enamored of Indian philosophy, and it shows up all over his work. But again, it was his way of reading it, which was also affected by other translations that came later, including those of Max Müller, who wrote a whole series of books and eventually translated the Vedas in their entirety into German in the mid-1800s. And then you have Nietzsche coming in 1880 and writing many books, but one of them clearly from the Gita, Beyond Good and Evil, right? Isn't that what we were just pointing out in our last satsang, that Krishna was telling Arjuna he had to be in a state that's beyond good and evil. Well, Nietzsche picked that up, but I don't think his understanding of what it means to be beyond good and evil is the same as Krishna's by any means. And of course, he argued with Schopenhauer and misinterpreted Schopenhauer as implying that the will that he's talking about is just the will to life. And of course, he had to change that in his mimetic rivalry and say, no, it's the will to power. Well, but any will is, first of all, a love. Will is a will to love, and then what you love, if you love power, then it will be a will to power. If you love beauty, it will be a will to beauty, right? But will can't be limited to any of those objects. Will is free by definition, especially when it's the will of God that's being spoken of, which is the only true will, right?